Now is former combat pilot, Arizona Senate candidate, General Mick McGuire. General, your reaction to this, because again, this is directly correlated to the wide open border under President Biden.
Yeah, good morning, Dagan. Thanks for having me. You know, I retired in April after 34 years in uniform. I was a commanding general of the Guard, and we had supported our great immigration services, ICE and Border Patrol agents. Biden shut that off, and when I left in April, it was a crisis. Now it is a full-blown human tragedy. Yuma has 7 miles of area where the wall has not been completed. I was down there just a month ago, and in 2.5 hours in broad daylight, they apprehended over 120 people, and not a one of them from the Golden Triangle or Mexico. So this is a complete disaster. Biden needs to get down there, and he's derelict in his duty. We've got to provide the resources because the temperature is rising.
The Wall Street Journal, General, today has a story about how fentanyl is actually invading more illicit pills with deadly consequences. And this is directly from the Mexican drug cartels who are manufacturing making this bootleg version of fentanyl that's winding up in, say, oxycodone pills, but also increasingly stimulants that younger people might be using or abusing, like cocaine and methamphetamine. How many deaths is it going to take for this administration to step up and do something about drug cartels profiting from human suffering and death?
Well, Dagan, you're exactly right. I said the other day that it's the equivalent of the 750 infantry battalions have died in the last year due to fentanyl or opioid overdose in America. Imagine if we had lost 750 battalions in Afghanistan. That's just an unbelievable number, nearly 90,000. 90% of this stuff is being produced in China. The open border policies of the Biden administration are failing. The Border Patrol is overwhelmed. They're not getting any mutual aid assistance from local law enforcement or the Guard, and the drug cartels are exploiting this. And, you know, I find it interesting, Dagan, in your preceding segment, you're talking about vaccine mandates. In Yuma, Arizona right now, it is easier to traffic fentanyl or a 9-year-old girl into the sex trade than it is for Americans to get lunch in New York. That is unconscionable.
It is indeed. Law enforcement officials, let me talk about Yuma in particular. In Yuma, Arizona, say they're completely overwhelmed by the surge of migrants in their area. Encounters in Yuma are up a whopping 2,647%. Yeah, I didn't read that wrong. 2,600% since October of 2020. General, your reaction?
Well, you just have to go to see it. Like I said, 20 years I served here in Arizona in the Guard. 4 times we deployed guardsmen to the border. I have never seen a situation where in broad daylight from 9 to 11:30, people are crossing as a steady stream, no regard for law enforcement. Border Patrol is overwhelmed. All they can do is kind of round people up, get them off and processed, and then release them on their own recognizance, and we will not see them again.
Lou Bassanese, jump in here.
You know, listen, General, I hate that I have a personal connection to this. I lost a brother in October 2019 to a fentanyl overdose, and it really shocks me how the administration, some of the people are saying that, you know, anyone that uses drugs should carry Narcan along with them as the solution to this crisis. That's like telling everyone that has heart disease to carry the defibrillator with them around all the time. I'm curious, since you are on the ground, you've been there, what really can impact this crisis? Because as Dagan said, there's how many lives is it going to take before we wake up and realize the youth of this country are dying at the hands of just illegal drugs coming across the border? So what practical things can be done and have an impact?
Well, it's clear that we have to complete the wall, surveil it, and enforce it. Biden is spending taxpayer dollars while prices are rising for contractors not to work to complete this area. In the Yuma sector this year, there's been 29 deaths, 3 drownings. There's nothing humane about an open border. And in Arizona, border security is human security, and lawlessness begets more lawlessness, and it is completely lawless on the southwest border, especially in the Yuma sector right now. And the Biden administration acts like it's not happening, and there's a federal primacy and a requirement for the federal government to secure the sovereignty of this nation. That's why I'm in this Senate race. This is the #1 federal issue.
General, how's the campaign going?
The campaign's going great, Dagan. 26,000 miles I've driven in the last 23 weeks, seeing the Arizonans in all 13 rural counties and working in the urban areas. There's real energy out here, and I keep telling them, we're going to generate an army of 2 million plus voters here in Arizona that say, I pick Mick, and we're going to seize back control of the U.S. Senate and stop the radical left from destroying this nation, the greatest nation in the history of the world.
General Mick McGuire, thank you so much for being here this morning. Always.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.